introduction. This is an amazing group. You guys, this is so fun. There's just something about being with girls. Okay, I love boys, I do. I'm married to one. I have 3. But there's just something about being just with girls. I love it. So I have to tell you, I've had a girl-filled last 10 days. Last weekend I spoke at a youth conference in Snowflake, Arizona. Do you guys remember Snowflake, Arizona? If not, if you don't know where Snowflake, Arizona is, there's a temple there, so you might have heard of it, just couldn't remember. But we had a youth conference there Saturday, and then Sunday I got to teach a lesson with my young women. And then this week I've been at my ward's young women camp all week, and we just got done today, so yes, I'm a little dirty and had to kind of do a lot of dry shampoo in my hair, but I'm here. And then I also got to speak to a ward in Surprise, Arizona. Is anyone from Surprise? Yeah, a few loose, okay. So yes, this week has been so fun. It's been lots of girls, lots of fun, spiritual things. And so I'm so excited to be here. So my name is Tarrah Montgomery, and as they said, as they introduced me, is I like to write books. I don't know if you guys have read any of my books. I'm going to show you my latest one. And after this, I think you guys get to do a few different classes, and I'll be teaching about how to write books, so I don't know if you guys have inspiration to write books. So this is my latest one, Beauty and the Teenage Beast. Has anyone seen that one? Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right, so for this talk, we're going to talk about the daughters of God. So virtue is the strength and power of the daughters of God. So as I told you, there is something neat about women. We're awesome. Like I said, no offense to boys, they're cute, but women, we have something very special, and we need to let that shine. I'm sure you guys have talked about this all week. So we are going to talk a little bit more. So Gordon B. Hinckley, he once said that woman is God's supreme creation. You are amazing. Don't ever forget that. Now, have you guys ever heard of Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire? I know they're a little bit older, so you might need to Google it or look on YouTube. You guys, when they danced, it was beautiful. Ginger Rogers had the beautiful dress with the high heels, and they would dance and kind of do like little hops as they danced and twirl. It's beautiful. But this is what makes women amazing. See what it says? It says, Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did, but she did it backwards and in high heels. Yeah, see the guy can do that, right? Okay. Of course, women don't work as hard as men. We get it right the first time. Yeah? Yes. I believe that. You guys seen Napoleon Dynamite? So, he didn't quite say this on the movie, but this would be something he would say. So he said, I passed the sacrament to my crush. So I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious. Guys think like that sometimes, right? Yeah. Okay, this is sometimes girls. We're a little different. When we wake up, we don't look so hot, but we can look good at church. Yeah? You guys ever done that? Yes. Boys, they still come to church looking like the first picture. Sometimes. All right. So, speaking of how boys and girls think a little different, this is a picture of my family. So there's my husband, pretty cute. So like I said, I like guys. They're cute. Now, my son on the left, he's 14. He wanted to come and help be my photographer because he heard it was a room full of girls. He's kind of cute. But I said, yeah, that's probably not a good idea. So I brought my sweet daughter, Trista. Trista, wave your hand. She's actually right there in the middle. She's 13, so she gets to come be my photographer. And then my son in the front, he's 12. It's kind of cute. And then I have 2 twins. They're 4, and they are crazy. I could tell you all about those crazy kids, but they are crazy. So, the reason why this picture happened, if you guys look at the side, it said, you had me at Rose's and a date to Walmart. So, my husband, I met him in Walmart. True story. So I always tell my young women, don't ever go to Walmart in your pajamas because you'll never know who you're going to meet. So I was in Walmart with my roommate. I was up at BYU, Idaho. It was Rick's at the time. I'm a little old. And my husband was there shopping, and he saw my roommate, and I thought, ooh, they're kind of cute. So he came up and talked to us, and I thought, okay, weirdo, I don't know who you are. But later on that night, there was a dance at the school, and he came to the dance. And he's cute, right? You guys agree? He really is cute. Yes. Ooh, thank you. I'll have to tell you guys said that. So he asked my sister to dance. My sister was up for the weekend. She was 14, and she thought it'd be fun to hang out with her college sister, and she was 14, so she got to come to dance with me. And he asked her to dance just to be nice, and so my sister, she takes credit for this family picture because she told him that I liked him. I didn't tell her that. Then she told him I wanted him to kiss me. Yeah, I did not tell her this. So he just got off of his mission a couple of weeks before. So he's just, a fresh returned missionary, and he's thinking, yes, I get a kiss. Boys, girls, think different. I was not thinking of my first kiss that night. So that night, he's walking us back to my apartment. He tried to kiss me. So this is what I did. He came in, and I kind of went. I turned my head, and he kind of looked at me funny. And we kind of talked a little bit more, and everything was fine. And then he tried it again. He tried 2 times. And I turned my head again. Now, a few of you guys know Brother Montgomery, because you guys are from Snowflake, Jessa and Peterson, yes. True story, you'll have to bug him about this, okay? But he said, since I turned my head the second time, he kind of said, what's wrong? And I said, I've never kissed anybody before. And he goes, oh. And he said that made him like me more than anything. So yes, you guys, and I wasn't even really trying to impress this cute boy. He was cute, but that was the thing that impressed him. So the next day, he came to my apartment and brought me a dozen roses and took me back to Walmart on a date. He was cheap, okay? He just got off his mission. We went, there was a little food court, and we got a sandwich and a slushie. So that was our first date. And then our family, that's the after. So perfect, right? So I did bring some dozen roses right here I want you guys to notice. I know they're kind of down here on the floor. They're really cute. Let me lift it up so you guys have to see. You guys see? They're beautiful, right? I just got them today on the way here. I love roses, so my husband, he knows that. Dozen roses, that's my thing. So I'm going to put these right here. All right. So, women and men, we think a little different. But it's okay. But in truth, girls are awesome. Elaine S. Dalton, as I told you before, virtue is the strength and power of the daughters of God. So, do you remember when I said Gordon B. Hinckley said that woman is God's supreme creation? He didn't say woman is the cheese pizza creation. He didn't say woman is the pepperoni with 1 extra topping creation. He said the supreme creation. So when you go to order a pizza and you order a supreme, it's everything, right? It's everything, and that's my favorite. I love supreme pizzas. We were his supreme creation, and we are very special, okay? So I want you guys, I know sometimes you think you're not that special, but he said it. We are the supreme pizza creation. I added the pizza part, but supreme creation. So, there are 2 examples I want to give you guys of amazing women who stood strong and defended their role of being a woman. Now, do you guys know the song As Sisters in Zion? Yeah. We're going to sing it in just a minute, but I want to tell you something that you might not know about this song. So I have pictures of 2 women that wrote this song. So the picture on the right, Janice Cat Perry. You may have heard of her name. She's an amazingly talented woman who has written many songs, many beautiful songs. She wrote the song, the music to As Sisters in Zion. Now the other woman on the left, it is an older picture. She lived a century before Janice Cat Perry. She was born in 1836, okay? Her name is Emily Hill Woodmansee. Has anyone heard that name before? I didn't. I had never heard that name before. So I looked her up. I wanted to find out about this girl who wrote the words to As Sisters in Zion. So let me tell you just a quick story about this amazing woman. So Emily was a gregarious 12-year-old girl who readily accepted the gospel when her cousin Miriam invited her to hear the Mormon missionaries. Emily's older sister Julia gained a strong testimony soon after. The sisters remained faithful over the years despite their family's disapproval and forbidding missionary contact. However, prior to the missionaries' departure in 1848, a member named John Holliday was brought by to give Emily a priesthood blessing. Okay, so Emily was 12 years old. Her and her sister couldn't join the church yet because her parents didn't agree, so they had to wait till they were older. But before the missionaries who were teaching her, before they left to come back to America, because they were over in England, they gave her a special blessing. I want you guys to hear this part. She was told in her blessing that if she remained faithful to her testimony of Jesus Christ throughout her life, she would write in prose and in verse, and thereby comfort the hearts of thousands. Little did she know that her poem, As Sisters in Zion, would touch millions. Okay, so here's the after story. So she lived 1836. Obviously, she's not alive anymore, right? So Emily Hill's poem remained in the LDS Church archives until the 1980s, when those putting together the new hymn book searched for a song for the Relief Society women. They found Emily's poem, and they had Janice Cat Perry write music to accompany the poem, making As Sisters in Zion the theme song for women worldwide. So this little girl in England got a priesthood blessing that she was promised if she stayed faithful and kept the commandments, that her poems and stories that she would write would soon be known by thousands. Okay, so and Sisters in Zion is a very, very popular, well-known song. So I bet she's smiling up in heaven. So I want to, just for a quick few little seconds, let's just sing the first verse of the Sisters in Zion. So I've got the words up here, and hopefully everyone's heard this song. You guys are going to help me out, so I have to sing by myself, okay? So think of that girl, think of that 12-year-old girl who wanted to join the church, but she had to be patient. But she still remembered that priesthood blessing, and she wrote stories and poems, and pretty soon is this famous song that we sing. Okay, you guys ready? Sit up straight. Don't slouch, just kind of squeeze your diaphragm, so we want to sit up straight. All right, I have to take a big breath. There we go, ready? As sisters in Zion, we'll all work together. The blessings of God on our labors we'll see. We'll build up His kingdom with earnest endeavor. We'll comfort the weary and strengthen the weak. Oh, that was beautiful. There's like good acoustics in here. Have you guys been singing in this room? Yeah, that's like really good. So I love that, and I now love knowing a little bit more about that song. So we as women, we strengthen each other. So this girl, Emily Hill, she was writing a poem, over 150 years ago about being strong women, okay? So, how can we stand strong and defend our role of being a woman in this world? So we always talk about being of the world, but not in the world, and all those examples, and I apologize to women everywhere I speak where how you guys have it tough. You do. My high school, junior high experience, it was tough, but I didn't have the social media and the movies that you guys have. You guys are bombarded with things around the world. So, my lesson, my talk, is called Lessons I Learned from a Beauty Pageant. Now, I understand that you guys have some paper to write down. So is this on the top of your paper? Yeah. So this is where we get into the part. So, I'm going to put on my crown. Hold on. Is it sparkly? Yeah? Good. So we've got to have the crown for a beauty pageant. So I was in a beauty pageant in high school. And I learned a lot in a beauty pageant. I did. Now, as I do this talk, we're going to kind of talk about what makes a beauty pageant and what are important things that we can make beautiful inside. Okay, so there's kind of a few elements we're going to talk about, and I'm going to need your guys' help. I am going to ask you a few questions here and there, and I'm going to have you shout them out. So I don't want to be the only one that's kind of saying, well, this is what I learned, and this is what you can learn. I want you guys to help me too, okay? So, lessons I learned from a beauty pageant. So, a pageant, in definition, is a public entertainment consisting of a procession of people in elaborate, colorful costumes, or an outdoor performance of a historical scene. But in North America, it is simply defined as a beauty contest. That's it. So when you think of a pageant, you think of a beauty contest. You think of the gowns, you think of the interviews, you think of the big crowns, right? Is that what we picture when we think of a pageant? So here's the first question. I'm pretty sure this one's on your paper. It says, what is the world's definition of beauty? So I want you guys to write down some ideas, and then you're going to kind of give me some things that you guys are thinking about, that you are going to write down. When we watch TV, when we look at magazines, when we see commercials, what does the world define as beautiful? So go ahead and shout some out.
Picture. Makeup.
Makeup.
Clothes.
Outfits, clothes. Hair, skin.
The stuff on the outside, not the inside.
Yes. Tall. Oh, this is awesome. Jewelry. Perfect. Did you guys notice everything you guys mentioned is things that we can see, right? We said hair, makeup, clothes, skin. What else?
So basically the stuff on the outside, not on the inside.
Exactly. The world defines beauty as things on the outside. So as you guys are making your list on your paper, just start thinking of things that we see. Some say people are beautiful because when they're tall, like lots of models are tall. And some people have blonde hair or dark hair. I don't know. The world defines beauty different ways. So go ahead and make your little list, and I'm not going to tell you what to write. This is your paper. Of what you have seen of being in the world of what they define as beauty. Okay? So, you guys can keep writing. I'm going to show you guys something. Now, Jeffrey R. Holland, love him. He gives some awesome talks at conference. It says, I don't always give the best talks at conference. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I love his stuff. So, I have a quote from him. He said, you are bombarded in movies, television, fashion magazines, and advertisements with the message that looks are everything. The pitch is, if your looks are good enough, your life will be glamorous, and you will be happy and popular. Do you guys feel like that's what the world kind of does?
Yes.
Yes, it makes you watch a movie, and all the beautiful people, they just seem happy, and they have it all, and they have everything. That's what they're trying to show you, but you guys, it's not real. Movies, they're not real. Those relationships you see, the beautiful people, someone had to help them put on their makeup and do their hair, and their hair is not the same color that it really is, and it's not real, but that's what you guys see all the time. You're bombarded. Remember that word? Bombarded. All the time. All around you. So I want to show you some beauty standards around the world. So different people think different things are beautiful. And if you look at beauty, beauty just means something that is pleasing to the eye. That's what something is beautiful. These roses I have at the front of the stage is beautiful. It's something that's pleasing to the eye. So, when I was doing some research, there was a girl who took a picture of herself with no makeup, and she's beautiful. I think she's a very beautiful girl. And she wanted to do an experiment. She sent this picture to different countries around the world, and she just gave them one instruction. She said, make me beautiful. That's it. Okay? So I'm going to show you a few pictures from around the country of what they did to make her beautiful. So this is in Argentina. So this is how they made her picture beautiful. So over there they feel like maybe darker, longer eyelashes, more lipstick would make her beautiful. This is in Australia. Now in Australia, they live by lots of beaches, so they do a lot of self-tanners, a little bit darker because they're out on the beach, so they see that that's beautiful. It's in Chile, so her hair is a little different, so where you go in different places, different hair is beautiful to different people. This is in Morocco, so they have different clothes, which makes them feel beautiful. This is in India. So depending where you are in the world, different things are considered beautiful. This is in Greece. And this is a picture in the UK, United Kingdom, over in like London, England. There was a study that suggests that British women spend 474 days of their life applying makeup. Now that seems like a lot. And I was explaining this to my 12-year-old son, and he goes, whoa, that's not right. That can't be right. And of course to a boy, remember boys think different than girls. I was trying to explain to him, I said, well, think about it. If we spend a half hour doing hair and makeup and looking cute and trying to look beautiful, just a half hour, and you times that by 7 days a week, and then you times it by 4.5 weeks a month, and then times it by 12 months, and how many years you're alive doing makeup, yeah, it's going to kind of add up to be about 474 days. And he goes, Mom, why? Couldn't understand that that's so much of your life wasted on putting on makeup, which I kind of agree. That is a big waste. So there was another study that said 91% of women said they would rather cancel a first date than go without wearing makeup. Would you guys cancel a first date if you didn't have makeup? No. And here's a big clue. If he doesn't like you without the makeup, then he doesn't deserve the date anyway. And I'm very lucky that my cute hot husband that I showed you, he likes me without makeup. So, bonus point, right? Okay. Germany. This is a picture from Germany. They spend more on makeup than any other European country. You guys, it doesn't even look like her. They spend more money than any other country on makeup. Okay, I'm going to show you the next picture. USA. Now, USA. This is something I want you guys to think about, kind of in your mind. We do a lot of photoshopping in USA, magazines, billboards, posters. A model will take a picture, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen like those Dove beauty commercials where a girl will come in with no makeup and she's beautiful, but they do all her makeup and do her hair and take all these pictures where her hair is flying, and then they Photoshop it. They make her neck longer, they make her nose skinnier, they Photoshop it, they change it so it doesn't even look like her. That's not her. It's not real. And that's what you guys are being bombarded with everywhere. When you guys see all these pictures, they're not real. In one survey, 60% of people said inner beauty counted the most. Now, I'm glad 60% of people said that, but there were 40% of people that didn't. And that breaks my heart, because I wish that was so much higher, because I feel like inner beauty is more important than the outer. All right, so who decides what is beautiful? Now, do you guys love this picture? The crowns are like huge. And those poor little girls on the front, the one in the blue, you can see that she's kind of tipping just a little bit. I love it. But who decides what is beautiful? You guys saw all over the world, it's different. And who decides that? Us. True, the world, right? Whatever we decide. Now, when I was in my beauty pageant a long, long time ago, they do a judging criteria of things you have to do. And I remember how we were saying a beauty pageant in our mind, we think, okay, there's the evening gown, there's a talent section, there's the swimsuit and the evening gown section. And then they judge you on these things. So the interview, you go into a room, and they have like 10 judges standing, all sitting in a row, and you're all by yourself, really nervous, and you have to like stand really straight, and they ask you questions. They ask you questions about current affairs. They ask you questions about education, because they just want to make sure that you kind of know what's going on and you're being educated. So it's kind of a good thing. It's good. It's good to be knowledgeable. The swimsuit and evening gown is a little bit different than what some people think. They're mainly judging you on your confidence. They're judging you on your elegance. So when I practiced my beauty pageant, we had 2 stars on the stage. When we came out, we had to walk to our stars, and we had to stand on a star and pop our leg. And then we had to stand to the next star and turn and pop our leg. So we had to do it confidently. If I went out there and kind of went like this, and kind of went like this, do you think I would have been judged very good? Probably not, right? So it's different than what people think. People are like, oh, the swimsuit, oh, that's so weird. But they're just judging your confidence and your elegance. And then the talent portion, they want to make sure you're well-rounded, that you're doing other things than just beauty pageants, so they want to see what else you can do. So that's how some people judge beauty. So this is my lovely picture of when I was in my pageant. So go ahead, laugh. It's okay, you can laugh. So my sweet mother took me to a beauty salon a couple hours before we were getting our photo taken. And this was the photo that was going to be around town to show who was competing in this pageant. There was like 26 of us, so we all had to get a picture taken. This is what I told the lady. I said, I want some loose curls on the top, loose. And just a couple little wispies right here by my ears. That's what I told her. That's not what it looks like. It looks like there's a poodle on my head. Right? And the curls, you guys, it went all the way around to the other side. Yeah. And when she was done, we had 10 minutes before pictures. So I don't know if you can tell, my eyes are just a little bit red because I was trying really hard not to cry. Because that was not what I wanted. So this was the picture that was plastered around town for my pageant. So my pageant was called Miss Bear River Valley Pageant. But yes, I did have to show you the real picture. Okay, so second question on your paper. What is Heavenly Father's definition of beauty? This is going to be completely different and almost opposite to your first. So, think for a minute. Write down some ideas. And think about what Heavenly Father sees as beautiful. And this time, let's raise our hands. That way so I can really hear these answers. These answers, the world one, I wasn't too careful about because it's kind of all the same. It's the stuff that we see. But what does Heavenly Father see as beautiful? Kind person. Wonderful. Everything has their own way of beauty. I love that. Right here. Being yourself. Perfect. Right here.
I would say that the definition of Heavenly Father for me is basically like being yourself and not spending too much time on things that make your outside look a little bit nice, but brush your hair and that was nice, but maybe what your attributes are like be kind and loyal.
That's great. She listed a whole bunch. What I love is she said, still take care of yourself, brush your hair, do a little bit of makeup, but not spend so much time on that. I like that. And then all the other ones. Let's just do a couple more. And if I don't pick on you, that's okay because you've got space to write on your paper, right? So right here, what do you think?
He doesn't care about what you look like on the outside.
Exactly. Heavenly Father doesn't care what you look like on the outside. He cares about this right here. Okay, we're going to go one more over here, right there in the corner. Say it a little bit louder. Yes, beauty is inside. Perfect. Okay, so everyone raise your hand. Your thought in your brain, put it on your paper. You guys are right on the right track. So basically it's opposite. The world's view is everything that's out here. Heavenly Father's view is what's in here. Good job. All right. Elaine S. Dalton, another wonderful speaker, she said, I was reminded of my divine identity and I learned about what I now call deep beauty. The kind of beauty that shines from the inside out. It is the kind of beauty that cannot be painted on, surgically created, or purchased. It is the kind of beauty that doesn't wash off. It is spiritual attractiveness. If you want to write that down right there, spiritual attractiveness. So not outward attractiveness, spiritual attractiveness. Hold on right here. Okay, so this is a newspaper clipping of my pageant. So it's a little hard to see, but you guys, I am. I didn't have a real picture to show you, but this is a newspaper clipping. And no, I did not win my pageant. I have my banner, and I'll show you. I did get a banner, but I got third attendant. So it's actually like fourth place. My friend, she's the one right here in the front waving. She's got the big, huge smile on her face. She is wonderful. I did not hate her because she won. She's wonderful. Inside and out, she is beautiful. But down here at the bottom, you guys can see where the arrow's pointing. And then I kind of made it bigger over here on that side. I got a trophy. I got a trophy like way up to here. It was pretty cool. And I didn't mention this before. It was also a scholarship pageant. And that's what made me enter this pageant. My dad told me about it. He said, you should enter this beauty pageant. And I'm like, I don't know. He said, Tarrah, it's a scholarship pageant. You could earn money for college. So I did. I got third attendant and I got $2,000 for college. Right? So yes, it was awesome. It was a wonderful experience. I made lots of friends. I was able to feel confident, but there was elements to a beauty pageant. Like I said, who decided that my friend won? Yeah, the judges, exactly. So the judges just decided, okay, she's going to be the winner because of those little things that they saw us do. They only saw us for an hour and they decided who the most beautiful was, right? So, I want to tell you the story of the dress, and this is going to be kind of a quick story, but it's one of my favorites. This is my pageant dress. Now, my mom took me to, I think we counted 19 stores to try to find a dress. It wasn't because I was picky, it was because we couldn't find a modest dress. Do you guys have that problem? Yes, it is. It's just the story of our lives, right? I know you guys have talked about modesty, and that is wonderful. So, I found one dress I loved. It was pink, and it was super cute. And it went down kind of to my waist, and then it flared. Kind of almost like Tinkerbell a little bit, and then it went down. It was really pretty. But it didn't have sleeves. It was sleeveless. So my mom and I, we were like, okay, well maybe we can get a little shrug, you know, those little jacket things on top, and we can make it work. We can make it modest. But pageants, you don't really do that. You don't really do shrugs in pageants. And so I was tired, I was hungry, I was ready to go home, I was kind of moaning a little bit, and I really wanted that pink dress because it was so cute. My mom said, well, let's try one more store and then we'll go out for dinner. So we went to one last store, and it was literally like the clouds opening and the sun shining down on this dress. You guys, it was the most beautiful dress and modest. Some of the dresses we saw that had long skirts, they had long slits that went up to the thigh like this, where you walked and it was like, but no, this one didn't do that. And it was all beads. It was beads all the way down, and it was heavy. It was like 12 pounds. So when I wore this dress to the pageant and I had to walk to those little stars I told you about, I had to walk because it swooshed, swooshed, swooshed. And then I had to pivot. Remember the pivot? And then it kind of swooshed, kind of slow because it was heavy. And then it was swoosh, swoosh. But I have to tell you, when I walked across that stage with my confidence that they were judging me on, I felt beautiful. I felt confident in my beauty because I wasn't wearing something that was immodest. I was confident that I had something that I wasn't, I guess, shy about or shamed about. It wasn't something where I thought, oh, I'm just in a pageant. It's okay if I have a slit that goes up my leg. No. I found a dress that was perfect. And I did. I felt beautiful. So, this last question should be, there's a big space I think on yours. So this one, I'm not going to have you guys give me these answers. This is kind of for you to think. And you don't have to all write them right now, you can write them later. But how can we make steady improvements toward real beauty without obsessing over toxic